Hi, this is Deb Frew from the Worldwide Metaphysical Tribe here at Tribe Central. And as you can see, I'm in the middle of getting ready for everybody to show up for the most amazing year we have ever had. And today, I'd like to introduce you to one of our speakers, a really fun person to talk to, a really joyful person to know, Kimberly Marie. Welcome, Kim.
Thank you, Deb. Thank you so much.
Kimberly is here and she will be presenting with Marcel Vidovic to talk to us about CE5. And Kimberly, I would love you to explain briefly how you got into this and what CE5 is.
How I got into this, a lot of things that had happened in my life came to one culminating moment in 2013 when I saw the Sirius documentary that was created by Dr. Stephen Greer. And I saw that he was using consciousness to make contact with extraterrestrial civilizations. And I was completely blown away. I've been a longtime yogi for over 3 decades now. I'm very interested in the consciousness connection to all things. And when I saw him doing this work, I had this unbelievable feeling inside of me that I wanted to do this, and I wanted to do whatever it took to get that to that space. I wanted to understand what this protocol was. Who is this person? What is this all about? And it felt like it was part of my purpose in some way. I just didn't have all the information at the time. So that's how I came to it. I did go to a contact event, a training. It wasn't with Dr. Greer, it was with Martin Ellis, who's from the UK. He had a group at the time called SERPER. I don't know what's become of Martin Ellis, but that was my first adventure into Joshua Tree Retreat Center. And I had some profound experiences over that weekend that really changed the course of my life.
And what exactly is CE5?
CE5 is a term that Dr. Greer created. It means human initiated contact. It means that we are initiating protocols through consciousness to elicit some sort of interaction with non-ordinary intelligence.
That just seems so exciting to
It
think
is.
that we're going to learn about how this all works and some of the things that you've learned through experience, and then we get to go out in the field and try it. I'm beyond excited for this part, and it's how we're closing out the weekend. So I'm absolutely dying for this part. But tell me something. I mean, you've been doing this for a while now, and my question is, do you have any encounters or experiences that really shifted you, that made you maybe see things in a new way, or confirm what you were thinking, or something along those lines during all these experiences? I mean, you do this a lot. You do the CE5 a lot. So,
Well, I would like to, for the record, say that I believe after all of these years and the experiences that I've had, that we are having contact all the time. We're having contact in our day-to-day, in our sleep, and we're also doing it when we're consciously initiating it, whether we're by ourselves or we're with other people. So contact is always happening. And it's really a matter of tuning into that non-ordinary space. And that's where the exciting part for me comes in, is how do we get there? How do we open up to that contact that is yearning to interact with us, for us to acknowledge that interaction and to be a part of it consciously, right? And so the tools that I've come to feel very strongly about in the yoga communities, yogic practices, these ancient tools. One is breath work and the other is mantra. It's chanting. And these are also, Dr. Greer uses meditation for coherent thought sequencing and remote viewing. So he's utilizing consciousness through the meditation modality. And he's also using mantra, the toning, to create that coherence in the mind. The fascination for me is like, how do we get there? Right? The journey is such an internal process of moving from that left brain logical, analyzation process that we need for our day-to-day journey. But how do we go from that space into a space of coherency? How do we drop into that right brain space, which when you get into that, you go from the sympathetic to the parasympathetic. You go from being conscious of your external environment to activating your endocrine system, which opens up that pituitary pineal axis, right? You start to vibrate, the heart opens up, and then that right brain heart axis becomes really strong. And in that space, our intuitive centers, we become aware of it. We develop a sensitivity around sensing our other senses, other than picking up from that coherent space what is trying to interact with us. Does that make sense?
Yes, but give me an example of maybe the first time this happened or a memorable time that this happened and what did happen.
Well, I go back to, well, I've got so many funny stories, Deb. My gosh.
We'll be sitting around the campfire with you to hear them.
Yeah. So I'll give you a story. Okay. This goes back to the Big Arb event. Okay. And the first time that I was approached by Melissa to be a part of it. And I got really nervous. I'm very shy. I have been in my life. I have a shyness, and I got nervous, and I kind of went into my rabbit hole, and I started a practice. I was doing a practice called Sat Kriya, and I would sit in my closet and I would do this Sat Nam, and it was moving the navel. It's this Kriya in Kundalini. And I got into a really beautiful, coherent space. I was feeling very blissful after, and I was in this deep meditative space. And I acknowledged the ETs. I said, if you're with me now, please give me a clear audible signal, because I need to know that you're with me. If I move forward with this project, I want your support. I want to know that I'm being guided and supported in this, right? And that evening, my alarm system went off, and it wasn't plugged in. There was no reason for the thing. I've been there for 5 years and it's never gone off. It went off at 10:20 at night. It went off the next day. I came home from work and I thought about it. It went off again. I woke up at 4 a.m. I was watching this video. I was excited about it. It went off again. It went off so many times. It was not coincidence. And then Marcel had said to me, well, maybe it's a wiring thing, or there's a faulty battery or something going on. So he came over to look at it, and his numbers are 222. And when we pull up in the driveway, it was 222. We go into the house. He examines the mechanics of both of my alarm systems. They're in two places. And we sat down on the couch. We talked for maybe 15 minutes, and he goes to stand up to say something about it. And the minute he opened up his mouth, the alarm went off. And I looked at him and I said, you can't logically explain that. And so I finally said to my friends in the unseen realms, I thanked them profusely. I thanked them for showing up. It was a clear, audible signal. I got it. And then I knew it was time to move forward. And so that's a representation of what I mean by that. They're always present. And when you ask for their support or their guidance, they are there ready, on the ready.
That is an awesome story. Really unbelievable. And how about in the skies? What have you encountered in the sky that made you say, "Oh my God, this really is real"?
So this is the story that I love to share that blew me wide open. The first weekend I was in Joshua Tree Retreat Center. It was Martin Ellis's group. There was 11 of us. It was the third night. And the transition for me was when I got there, I was afraid of the dark. I was afraid of scorpions and snakes and, you know, whatever else could be lurking out there. I went from that to the third night experiencing everything as conscious. Everything, the sand below me, every plant, every weed, cactus, the wind that was blowing, everything was alive. And we were in circle, and it was about 1:30 in the evening, and I was watching the Pleiades star system. It's a very beautiful diamond-like sparkly cluster of stars that comes out at certain times of the year. And I was meditating on that space, and I began to see a spiral starting to gyrate. And it was like a pin dot of light that was moving towards our group, and it was getting bigger. It was like a big portal, and it had colors on the inside of it, and it kept happening. And as it got close to us, I would see these drops of light, these white light drops come on our group. And it happened over and over again. And I couldn't figure out, is this a phenomena of my eyes or what's happening? So I asked the group to take a look, and some other people saw what I was seeing. Well, then people are chit-chatting and whatever. 10 minutes later, I look back at this area and I see a craft. And then I see another craft, and everybody's looking now, and 6 craft appeared in the sky. There were these giant white pulsing orbs of light, and they were not the stars of the Pleiades. They were just next to them. They were random at first, and then with our observation, they moved into a hexagon shape in the sky, and they held position there for hours. I sat down in the sand, and I started chanting a prayer, a mantra, thanking them and offering my love, my heart, and communicating in consciousness. And I was asking them to come closer, was my request. It was about 4:30 in the morning when I got a tap on the shoulder that we all had to go back to the rooms. Everybody was leaving the next morning. I stayed an extra day. I didn't know these people. I didn't know when we were supposed to leave. So I had a whole extra day there. And I'm going to fast forward to that evening. I'm alone, the only person in the Joshua Tree Retreat Center. And I took a walk back out into the desert. It was on this very strong vortex area. It was about a mile away from from where I was staying. And I dropped down to my knees, and I went back in the same place that I was at the night before. I went into a deep meditative space very quickly. There were storms looming in the distance. There were flash flood warnings on my phone. It had a little bit of an eerie feel to it, but I was just in there. When I opened my eyes, I had these 2 giant, what I thought at the time were orbs. And then there were 3 balls of light over the tops of the orbs. It looked like a opaque plasma. And I just sat there breathing deep, and I was thanking whatever this energy, this consciousness was that was in front of me. But I wasn't getting a communication back. So I stayed with it for probably 10 minutes or so, maybe a little longer. But then, you know, your protective mechanism kicks in, because I didn't know what it was. I was by myself, and I didn't want to put myself in danger. And so to bring myself back into a relaxed space, I called my daughter on the phone. I wanted to hear her voice. I needed to feel something normal. But that was the experience. But now, years later, after having many more experiences with these portal-like energies in various forms, even in somebody's house, like these portals keep opening up, I'm interested in exploring that. And I'm now questioning, was those 2 orb-like shaped energies, were those portals? I don't know. And that's where we're exploring the phenomena. You know, we're asking the question, and we're having the courage and the willingness to step in and engage with it. Right. And that's the exciting part about the whole thing.
This is the thing, you know, I'm sure that there'll be some people who are attending, some people who are on the fence about coming, some people who are just watching, and there's got to be a certain level of fear, you know, and I'm glad that you
Yes.
cut to that you admitted that you were afraid,
Yes.
and you weren't sure what to do, because
Yes.
it's a normal human reaction.
Yes.
However, I don't think there's ever been a bad situation with CE5 that I've ever heard of.
No, no, there hasn't. And that's the beauty of it. And no, and if we're willing to go out there and interact with this phenomena, it's amazing how joyful that energy feels. It's like they're waiting for you to notice them, to see them. I get this. I've had this feeling at times of this childlike energy that they're embracing, that they're working and maneuvering around you. And when people do go into fear, they back off. The experience will fade away. The craft will move away. They have proven that 100% of the time. That they are
Wow.
gauging us, and yeah, it's like they have their teaching teams, and they're willing to interact where we're able to go with it, and then they back off. And so we go together with our hearts wide open for the experience. But we do exercises even in the Rama contact every year. Enrique, he will structure some sort of exercise where we step into that fear space. And the last year, what we did last year is 2 nights in a row at midnight, we would all go off into the forest, find a tree. It's pitch dark out there, and we have to sit there alone. We did 45 minutes, I think, on the second exercise. And it's amazing how you can watch the energy out there, and you can see all kinds of interesting phenomena going on. But you do confront yourself, because, what are we going to do if the ETs do eventually come here and they want to interact with us? We have to learn how to be in that space.
That is so brilliant. And for those who don't know about the Rama group and Mount Shasta, this is a group that on occasion produces a field called a Zendra. And in that
Mm-hmm.
field, humans can walk in and step up their energy, and ETs walk in and step down their energy so that they can meet. And it is absolutely jaw dropping
Yeah.
to watch the experience travel across someone's consciousness. It's just amazing. Kim, I'm
Yeah.
going to let you go, but oh my gosh, you have got me so much more excited. I hope everybody is on the edge of their seat because I know you have so much more to say. There is
Yeah.
there's so many corners yet to be explored. There's
Yes.
the basics that we need to learn so that we can go out in the field. There's
Yes.
stories to be told. For instance, this story with the tree with Enrique is it's a fantastic story, and it's so good that
Yeah.
that people put themselves in a position to grow and to
Mm-hmm.
experience, and so that
Yes.
when the next thing comes, whatever it may be, we can rise to a new platform. So, holy man, I
Yeah.
cannot wait. I can't wait to see
Absolutely.
you. I
Yeah.
can't
All
wait to
right,
see
Deb.
you. I
I'm
can't wait to
looking
see
forward to it.
I can't wait to see you here in Illinois, and I know you are going to knock the socks off our group on Saturday night. So thanks
Oh, thank
so
you.
much for coming
All right.
and today, and I can't wait to see you in August.
All right, Debs, you got it. We'll see you soon.
All
Bye.
righty, bye bye.